Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot, oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girlz.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girlz Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker. I am here with my co-host, Patricia Kirkman, Miss PK, all the way from Tucson. How are you tonight, PK?
I'm just working it through my little sauna here that we're going through. We're getting ready for
another day. Are you over 100 degrees again?
Oh, good God, yes. They're talking about 110 by tomorrow.
Help us. Oh, wow.
I got my own special sauna. I just keep thinking of it that way. I think of it as a retreat, not a treatment. But either way, it's crazy.
Oh,
but
gosh.
It has been hot.
Yeah, hot stuff. Wow. Well, tell
I
us,
like that
please.
term. It's hot stuff. That's what it is. It's not hot.
Yeah.
It's hot stuff.
That's right. And you're hot stuff. So, Miss Hot Stuff, tell us.
Well, it's a perfect day.
Going on?
Have to look. This month is all about money and about being in charge and being in control. And today is a 1 day. 8s and 1s are always in charge. They're the leaders. So here we are in a 1 day and an 8 month. So we're going to get information today from Deborah about how to make it better for what we do and how we do it and how to work off of the things that we're given. Taking a look at the whole world. But for everybody, if you're going to spend any money today, make it for something that's going to give you some money back. Good paybacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's an investment.
Okay.
Definitely that. Tomorrow, wrap it up, put it away, let it go, and let things be the best they can be. Because tomorrow we're going to take a look at things in a totally different way. We're going to be overly sensitive, and we're going to want everybody else to pick it up for us and do the fast step, and we stand there like little children going, which way should we go now? Mm-hmm. Think of going to a museum, and you're all tied to your teacher who's leading us all down the Rhine.
Okay. And does she keep leading us, or does she disappear?
She'll get us in there, and then it's up to us for what we see and what to do with what we see.
Okay.
Don't you think that's pretty good?
It definitely does. I'm going to walk through that museum wide open, following that teacher.
Well, just think in terms of this. We've got a special teacher for us today.
Oh, my God. We have a great guest.
To think about and what we work on for tomorrow. By the way,
I know, really. Yes.
I wanted to mention about the fact that your dream workshops and getting involved with getting some dream information from you is very important for our listeners. They need to give you a call about some of that. I think it's time.
Well, thank you. I mean, I work with people and lead dream groups over Skype and also do one-on-one with people because it is, thank you for saying that, it is very important work that people can do to basically make themselves more conscious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Night with Deb Pietsch, who's coming on the show in just a few minutes, and it's a very important theme, and any way we can do it, we need to do that work. And it's really with our dreams, it's making friends with that dreaming mind, understanding the lingo, which isn't that hard to do. But it's a lot more fun in a group, but it's a lot more fun when you have somebody to work with. So I'm happy to help anybody who's interested. You can find me on the website, supernaturalgirlz.com. You can also message me on our Facebook page, which always has great stories. Mm-hmm. And if you want a numerology reading with Patricia Kirkman, you can go to patriciakirkman.com and schedule with her reading to see what's coming up in your life and your life's path and all of those good tidbits of information that really make a difference. So be sure to check out Patricia Kirkman's website, too.
Well, we're very fortunate to be able to have such a great audience that's interested in learning more, and it feels so good that we could add to what they're looking into.
You know, we love it. We love what we do with our show, and just recently we received a whole bunch of emails, people looking for us because they were so used to us being on Inception Radio Network, and we left there quite some time. Happy to find us. So those of you that were searching and found us, please spread the word that this is where we are now. Blog Talk Radio, you can access all of our shows from our page on Blog Talk. So it's pretty easy to do. And as things expand and grow, we'll keep you all posted because we have more and more outlets we will be broadcasting through. So it's just a very exciting time. And again, we love what we do. We love our audience. We love the paranormal. And we're so happy to share these wonderful guests with you, like Deborah Pietsch, who's going to be on in just a couple minutes. So here we are with more hums. Okay, those weird noises. Did you see this thing?
Yeah.
Chester, New York. My goodness.
Incredible.
Now, we're familiar with Taos, New Mexico, Bristol, England, Ontario. But this mystery hum is now happening in Rochester. People a little out of their minds don't like it. But they can't figure out, the scientists cannot figure out where it's coming from. They are thinking it might be micro-seismic activity or who knows. But it is not to say is in their house. And it's been...
You're breaking up a little bit, Patricia.
Okay. I'm going to try to position myself.
I want to make sure that you can get that information to everybody. Okay.
Thank you. I know. I had trouble, as you know, with getting on with Skype today because they said my signal was too weak. So what can I say? I think that we need a better internet system, and hopefully we'll have one here soon. But anyways, keep me posted on my sound quality. But
I sure will.
But basically, this noise, they're saying, was continuous, and it was audible to their dogs, and their dogs are looking around like it was a thunderstorm and getting, concerned, but they don't know what it is. They've been unable, these scientists have looked into it, they've recorded it, they've been unable to find out what it is. But they're saying it's between 315 and 320 hertz, so it's low, but it's well within the range of human hearing. So another case of it, and lots of people reporting it out of Rochester, New York. So we want to hear from you. Do you have any hums in your area, any strange booms or noises? Be sure to report on it. So you don't have any there, right, in Tucson, do you?
I have not heard any hums around here, just a bunch of barking dogs next door. I'm very fortunate that my neighbors enjoy dogs. They have 11 Chihuahuas, a Pit Bull, a Rottweiler, and a Shepherd.
Oh, and they all like to bark.
Each day. Oh, they definitely do.
Love
it, especially early in the morning, late at night.
Woo-hoo. Oh, that's lovely.
It's music to go to sleep by or wake up by.
That's a very generous way to look at it. Good for you.
And I have no pets at all.
Oh, well, you can just enjoy the sound of theirs.
Well, I have the pets that wanted the neighborhood that probably riled them up, like the coyotes, the bobcats, etc. And last night I had this huge horned owl that landed in the backyard. And my granddaughter was here, and she's 7, and she went absolutely crazy to see this. She was so excited. And then she wanted to chase it to see if it would stay long enough for her to get close to it. And I said, that's not the way they work.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what a wonderful message to have a visitor like that. That's wonderful.
Right. I keep thinking, things are changing. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, my toes crossed, and anything else that'll cross.
Well, we're going to hear all about change tonight from our guest, and she is an expert on transcending the matrix. And according to Deb, our awakening has been hijacked. So let me tell you a little bit about Deb, everybody. She is an award-winning producer, spiritual teacher. She is a communicator, activator, holographic field healer, and facilitator of reality creation. We're going to talk about all this stuff tonight because we want to know what happened to us, how we got hijacked, and how we can get back on our path so that we can create what we want, because something went terribly wrong. So let's bring our guest on the show. Deborah, welcome to the show.
Hello, ladies.
We are excited to have you with us tonight.
You. Yes, this is a fascinating subject.
Right. And I'm excited to be here, too, so thank you very much for having me.
Now, we've talked a little bit prior to the show, and I've also had the gift of listening to some of your clearing, actually their downloads. They're fabulous. They are very powerful. And we're going to be doing an activation live on the show tonight, everybody. So make sure that you let your friends know who might be interested to tune in if they want to participate in this kind of thing. It's really going to be powerful. But, Deb, tell us what's going on, please. What is happening and what has happened to us?
Right. And I think that your mic dropped out just for a second when you were describing telepathic communicator. So
yes.
That's an important aspect of what I've been up to for a couple of decades and how I've gotten the information that I have, plus all the evidence and confirmations to back it up. So we're in a very unique situation. So we have when we incarnate into this experience, we have agreements and contracts, and we have some idea of what we're coming here to do, to be, to engage with, and many signed up to also really bring through and usher in and be bridges for the new paradigm, the age of Aquarius, the paradigm shift. And many, so if you're listening to this and you, my invitation is that if you resonate with what I'm talking about, that you start to ask yourself if this is possible, that what we're going to get into subject-wise, because we've got a broad stroke conversation, and then we've got the nitty-gritty of how this is affecting people's daily lives. And most do not have an idea, don't have a clue about how this all can affect their daily lives. But if you have been on a spiritual path for a decade or two, and you have a knowingness that you're here to make a difference and to be engaged in a different way on the planet than what you've been able to really anchor, ground, and bring forth, then there's a high probability you are being affected by this hijacked Great Awakening, the hijacking of the Great Awakening. Quite honestly, I think most of humanity has been, because it's a timeline shift. But a lot of people may just be thinking also, well, it's not meant to be yet, kind of thing. And what I have been told by the beings that I communicate with is that is not the case.
So what is going on? How did we get hijacked? That just sounds horrible. How did we get into this particular shift that's really a bad one?
Okay, so we they're on a big picture on this planet. We have all sorts of different types of beings and human beings, aside from other types of beings. That actually is this conversation right now, that are wanting to maintain control of the planet and control of the people. And we have been basically duped into a deception matrix that is also referred to as, and I refer to, and my husband Scott, we refer to as the enslavement matrix. Now, this planet is meant to be a way station for free will, unconditional love, the I am presence,
right,
to really anchor and to expand. And there are many beings that have incarnated or have been interfered with after they incarnated by very dark energies that have a totally different hidden agenda, and that is playing out in a very big way. And we as beings of light are creator beings. We are meant to be able to create our own reality, and we are meant to be able to create, most people on the planet, I'm just going to go out on a limb, but I believe most people on the planet do want to thrive in a peaceful way and to cohabitate this planet in alignment. There are controllers that stir the pot, that create division, that manipulate, and that also engage with practices of dark alchemy through rituals and ceremonies that also conjure energies that are not brought through for the highest good and the highest divine creation, but are actually conjured through to act nefariously with those of us that are the high vibration, or not even high vibration, the beings of light that know we're here to usher in a different type of experience. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
I mean, because it does seem, and PK, you and I were talking about this before, that it's very difficult for a lot of people to manifest what they want, even though they've done a ton of work on themselves. They've mastered the principles that they've been taught about how to manifest, and it's still not happening. So this is all tied in.
Yes, it is. So if you go, we actually just launched our new website, so which is transcendthematrix.com. And we have been working, this has been something that I've been working on behind the scenes very specifically since 2010. And I can get into those details of how this all came about for me. But my husband Scott Bartle and I have also been working behind the scenes. We were out in the public for a while, and then we met, and then he went kind of underground with me, and we were out in the public. I was out in the public doing shows back in 2015, and then went behind the scenes again for about 2.5 years until just a month ago. So, and there's reasons for all of that. Now, the reason I was just bringing up the website is because what we did on the homepage of the website, if you go there, we addressed 5 different categories where you may be sitting. And one of those categories, what Patricia, you just brought up, are the people like myself who I had my awakening in a very profound way back in 1987 with very clear telepathic transmission of communication, which at the time I actually thought everybody got. Well, It was as if somebody was sitting next to me saying, okay, this is why you got the guidance to move to LA. This is why you got the guidance and, well, not guidance, but yes, guidance, why the doors to the entertainment industry just totally opened with grace and ease. I had no druthers when I went to LA. I thought I was going there to be a cop, and I fell into the entertainment industry within a year after deciding that being a cop in LA was not going to be aligned with who I am as a bubbly person, let's just put it that way. And, kind of, I'd have to really, I knew I was going to have to change my, who I was to do what I needed to do. But back then, that was the only frame of reference I had so far of how I could make a difference on the planet, right? Back then, I thought being a cop was, okay, I'm going to, help clean things up. Well, that's a whole other thing. But this communication that came through laid out very amazing details about why I fell into the entertainment industry, and I was doing a personal development seminar at the time, and it was all experiential, very heart-oriented, very heart-opening, and so the communication was all about utilizing all that information to create conscious media. So all my entire time of about 16 years in the entertainment industry, I was trying to get conscious media off the ground, like shows called Conscious Conscious Choice. Anyway, but nothing would come of it ever. Well, now I know why. So that was part of my path, was a simultaneous. I was doing everything I could in the way of workshops and seminars. Now, back then we didn't have webinars yet, but workshops
right.
and seminars and books. And, you know, I actually left the film and television industry. I got the guidance in around 2000, at the end of 1990, to try radio. And I landed on a show that had just been launched with a gal called, her name is Lisa Gar. The show is called The Aware Show. And she needed a producer, so it was like that Reese's, you know, chocolate and peanut butter kind of experience. So I got.
That's cute.
I never said that before, I don't think. So I got to utilize that vehicle with her and bring through, you know, back then, this is 2000, 2001, which, interestingly enough, I was doing the show when 9/11 happened. And 9/11 is going to be a big part of this conversation. And so we had, like, back in those days, I had, like, Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer and Carolyn Mace and Doreen Virtue, like all those people that were really starting to pop. We had them on the show as regular guests. Now, the reason I'm bringing all that up is because I knew I was actually I produced workshops with Doreen Virtue, with let me see, I didn't do any with Wayne, but with other people like that. And I knew how to create. Abraham, I was introduced to her work when she first came out with her Law of Attraction, and, you know, it was still on cassette tapes, right? You know, somebody makes you a cassette tape.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I had,
and
right.
There were Esther Hicks for working.
Mm-hmm. It's Esther Hicks, Abraham, exactly. I was in so early that I got to have 2 private sessions with her. So I knew how to create and manifest. I had the evidence, and this is one of the things we address on the website, Patricia, what you just brought up. I had the evidence in my own life of how to manifest, of how Grace and Ease looks. And when you are, you know, working through those intentional channels. Mm-hmm. Now, so if anybody can, you know, that's listening to this can relate to that, since 9/11, that event, which was not, I'm not interested in who did it. I'm interested in, and what I've been told by my guides, and then I got physical evidence in this dimension, interestingly enough, was a ritual. In addition to it being a trajectory timeline shifter, it was a ceremony that used the towers as a divine feminine DNA and a divine masculine DNA. And when those towers came down, it transmuted our DNA in a level, at a base level. That's what I'm being told right now, at a base level. It interfered with the creation codes. It interfered with the unified field of creation on the planet that had been coming into fruition. Now, the other thing is, now I was told by my guides before I got the physical information in this dimension, my guides were telling me, when I had my experience in 2010, when they started coming to me saying, we need your help beyond your own awakening. We're trying to figure out why all of you are having difficulties with money. So that's a whole other story. But if we stay on 9/11 for a minute, just to set I haven't really talked about this in the public yet. This is I have a little bit, but this is I'm now really starting to talk about it because it's been 17 years.
Yes,
many
it's a long time.
Many people are still stymied, and they are not able to create. My guides refer to this as the downtrodden timeline. So what happened is the creation codes within the unified field were tampered with that ritual. In addition to that, because what we were supposed to do is move into the gateways opening of 05, 05, 05, 06, 06, 06, 08, 08, 08, into 12 years of that. And in 2012 have a shift to move us into the 13 codec of and all those years. Well, let me back up. So what was supposed to also happen on 9/11 in the other timeline is Alan Greenspan was supposed to announce the release of humanitarian funding project money. And as that money would release an abundance that had never been released yet on the planet like that, hearts would open. We'd have waves and waves of energetic heart opening. What I'm being told right now, what was meant to happen was we could almost hear song in the air. I have chills right now.
That would have been nice.
I've never been told that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
right.
that didn't happen.
No.
So the
Not at
money
all.
has been stopped, and then I got a lot of information starting back in 2010 about that, and then that's a whole other story. But how it has affected our daily life is a domino effect beyond what most people can even imagine, because it's not just the divine feminine, the divine masculine that was affected, which, by the way, we need to have that intact within ourselves as a balance of that divine feminine, divine masculine to be able to create. We also need it on the planet, at least able to be anchored. But the divine feminine especially has been undermined constantly.
That's for sure. And it's been a long time that way. Yes.
Right? Through the the religions and all sorts of different ways that when you start to peel back the onion layers, you're like going, oh my gosh, we're so out of balance, right?
We are, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you want to go from here?
Well, this has been, as I mentioned before we even started the show tonight, extremely frustrating for people, because there's nothing that they can really say that they're doing, shall we say, wrong or incorrect, that doesn't allow them to manifest. But now you have some products that we're going to get to, some clearing products, and I've tried them myself. You were generous enough to let me use them, and I was very impressed with the quality of what happens when you listen to it, because I listen to a lot of tapes and CDs and whatever you want to call them, downloads from the internet, all kinds of different frequencies that they claim are healing, but yours really caught me by surprise. And one of the things that I noticed when I was just listening to the introduction you gave me to listen to was the power of the field that surrounded me immediately, just hearing your voice. And so that tells me that you know what you're doing, and you're able to help us through this terrible shift that happened and reestablish whatever we need to reestablish. But we're going to take a very short commercial break, everybody, and then we're going to come back and we're going to find out more about what happened to us and how we can get back on track. I mean, this has been a sad situation for so many people struggling with manifestation, money, etc., health, you name it. It's been a big, long struggle since 9/11 for a lot of our audience, a lot of people in the world. So having you here, Deb, is a real blessing. So stay tuned, everybody. You are listening to Supernatural Girlz Radio, and we will be right back.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With Cosmic Fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.KOSMICfusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Astridian is a family of cosmetic products with 98% pure ionized minerals. We combine our science with a blend of essential oils to nourish and take care of your skin's health. How does it work? All Astridian products contain the proprietary redox technology, having the capability of simulating an ionic zinc-copper superoxide dismutase effect. This free radical scavenger currently in your body has been diminished by toxins and the daily stresses of life. It is a perfectly balanced mineral complex that all $200 an hour dermatologists, their professors, and ancient history have proven. Redox technology is a process of reducing the skin's oxidation by transferring electrons from a radical state to a stress-free normal condition. Oxidative stress is a form of cellular aging, and as science has proven, a precursor to disease. The free radical theory of aging states that organisms age because cells accumulate free radical damage over time. Damaged cells are not beautiful, but healthy cells are. The Astridian family is presented in 4 different uses that cover unique benefits to your body. They are the Essential Anti-Aging Series, the Multivitamin Series, Sports Series, and Professional Series. Regain your youth with the power of Astridian. Visit www.astridian.com and inquire. Use the code SUPERNATURAL and receive a 10% discount on your first purchase. Astridian, the beauty of being healthy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Supernatural Girlz Radio. I am your host, Patricia Baker. I am here with my co-host, PK, all the way from Tucson, and our amazing guest tonight, Deb Pietsch, who is helping us to understand how we can transcend the matrix. So, Deb, all of this started in 9/11. It shifted us to a bad place. Now what do we do?
Okay, well, you started talking about the tools that we have. So
Right.
This is part of, so what we have are experiential tools. And I got the guidance all the way back in 2011 when I first started being taught by my guides. Now I also want to reference, who am I referring to when I say my guides? These are beings such as my own higher self, but also Melchizedek and Saint Germain and Metatron and even Jack Kennedy. So, and Jack Kennedy started communicating with me that I'm aware of back in 2012. That's a whole nother thing. So, and Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. So these are some of the beings. And I created a protocol years ago when I really, really started understanding about infiltration, of how and who I was willing to communicate with. Because it is notorious that dark energies show up as imposters, claiming they are Master Kutumi or Serapis Bey or Jesus, and they're not. And if you don't have the clear enough filters and the confidence with the evidence and the confirmations in this dimension to know who and what you're receiving as far as communication, then it's a challenging and a slippery slope that you can be riding. So, and on that note, I actually spent several years in isolation in Mount Shasta and just north of Shasta in Ashland, Oregon, and really honing in my abilities to communicate as well as up-leveling. And also, Patricia, what you said about my voice, which right now, this is not my normal voice, and I'm going to address that too, because this is part of some infiltration. That's the second time it's happened since I came out a month ago, 5 weeks ago, or May 5th I came out on a James Gilliland show. Came back out, but in any case, that's another thing we can get into, because I do want to talk about how this infiltration affects us, and it's primarily financially and health. So my voice, what I have been up-leveled to be able to do and be, is where my voice is normal. I don't know how it is. I don't know what's going to happen with how it sounds now and the congestion that I have. But what I am able to be is a bridge to create a unified field, and this is what Scott and I have been working on for years, to be a bridge from the downtrodden, the enslavement matrix, to a unified field where you can actually co-create and create. And that sounds like, I don't know, that can sound like crazy. And
now, I just have to stop you for a second, because I'm hearing all this background noise, and I don't know where it's coming from, because
it's not me.
No, I'm not, and I know it's not PK, so somebody else is listening to us, and they're making an awful lot of noise, moving papers around, typing. I don't know what the heck they're doing. But anyways, I just want our audience to know us. So we have somebody listening.
Do you have anyone else's phone lines open?
No, I was hearing something like drums.
Oh, you're in drums. Oh, boy.
That's
okay,
what I was thinking,
so
like a drum beat. And I'm going, what in the world?
Oh,
so I got up
God.
to look out the window to see, is it somebody in the neighborhood? But it's nothing here. Crazy.
Yeah, and nothing at your end. So we're getting somebody who's very interested in what you have to say, Deb, who's kind of found a way in to the show. And so I want to tell them, stop making noise.
I'm working on yeah. So let's close that field.
All right.
So, let's close that field so that this broadcast can not be interrupted. And, okay, I don't hear it anymore. I did hear I also heard some heavy breathing.
Yes.
I did too.
Yes, I heard that
I was thinking,
I thought it was you, Deb.
I thought it was you.
Yeah.
No,
Isn't that funny?
I wish
that's funny, but funny.
Right.
Yeah, because I thought, geez, that's really strange. It's so unusual. Because I don't, none of us, not that I've since I don't know you, Deb, the only one I'd have to blame is you because I've never heard Patricia breathe like that.
Right.
Well, now we know it's none of us for sure.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
this is part of the infiltration stuff. It's part of people listening in who have no manners. So it's fine if you guys want to listen, but you got to be quiet so we can hear what Deb has to say.
Definitely.
So.
Deb, can I interject something here for a second? I wanted to mention.
Well, I actually was going to ask you, PK, because you haven't heard me talk about this.
Well, the thing that I was looking at when you were talking about, because I did ask you your birthday before we started, and I said I wasn't going to talk about you personally, and I won't. But you were talking about 2001, and when you went into starting putting this together, you were in a 9 personal year, which is all about what you do for other people and making the major break in helping others go forward. This was your major shift then. And lo and behold, in 2010, when the next step took place, you were also in your 9 year. And 9 is what we do for the world at large and what we do to help others. We become the Mother Teresa types at that point in time. So I just thought I'd let you know that.
Thank you. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Well, Scott and I say, and this was even before we met, but I've missed a lot of dinner parties, and I'm from Hollywood, and I love dinner parties. So it's been a huge undertaking, and so what these experiential tools have the ability to do is to give you and we refer to them as training wheels, because they have the energetics, the activations, and the words that most people don't have access to. This is all stuff that I was taught by my guides. And the infiltration, which is that is the foundation of our work. We have become masterful at clearing energies, entities, implants, curses, spells, incantations, artificial intelligence. There is so much crap in this stymied timeline dimension between the 3rd and the 5th that is affecting our daily lives. Now, the other thing I have to say is that this is not, because I'm going to start talking about external infiltration. This is not about being a victim to it. This is information that you are to utilize, if it resonates with you, to be empowered. Because I learned early on in my soul-searching, awakening days is that we are the responsible creators of our reality. Now, what's challenging with that is that so many people that are on the path of awakening and have been for a long time especially, they are continuously going, and I did too, back in 2005 and 2008, which is when I got slammed with infiltration beyond words, and then it happened again in 2010. But I would say, how am I creating this reality? What is is it my self-esteem? Is it my self-worth? Is it my, do I have...
Yeah, it's like you go through the list. Yes.
Absolutely. Hidden programs of, I'm not worthy to be abundant, right? So It's like, it's all of that. Well, the good news and the bad news is a lot of it actually isn't even you. It is part of what has happened in this really screwed up timeline where our free will has been abrogated. And if you don't know what abrogated means, it means our free will has been interfered with. Universal laws have been interfered with. And we are in a situation where basically you need to kind of throw a lot of what you've learned out, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. You need to throw a lot of what you've learned out for a moment to gain the momentum, the tools, the understanding, the awareness of how to clear your field and how to get and also activate and calibrate back to a new core, because we are not where we were meant to be by 2013. So we're in a contingency plan.
Well, that makes sense,
and
because we've been, looking at all of this, following the principles of creation from all these wonderful masters and not getting anywhere. So it has become incredibly frustrating. So it's nice to know at least some of it is the result of this timeline shading that's been happening. But again, your tools can help us with this, right? Your tools can help us out of this.
Yes, definitely. So what you've experienced, Patricia, is the Clearing Your Field 101 and the 102. Those are brand new. What I was doing back in 2011 when I started these tools. And the other thing, too, I just want to say is that's when I started doing private sessions. And being a producer, I always thought my role was going to be behind the scenes. Now, creating conscious films and media, and then I had an agency back in 2005 when I left the Aware Show. I was doing internet strategies. I was so pumped up when I started learning in 2003 about what was possible with affiliate programs and with newsletters and, all the internet stuff that was available. The internet is what has leveled the playing field. And I launched an agency called Living Light Agency, and I had clients that were all, healers, and I was working with them and creating their foundation, their websites, and their PR and their marketing. And I still thought that was my role back then, was to be behind the scenes. Then I started being asked by my guides to start a show, my own show, and to go in front of the camera. And I was like, no freaking way. No way, no way. I mean, even when I was on the set for years and they would come and say, hey, can you sit in front of the camera while we do light for the celeb? And I would be like, okay. And I have to sit there with my eyes closed. I couldn't stand it.
How
but
funny.
Then, I know, right? And then I was like, okay, because I got to a point where after all this communication started coming through in 2009, 2010, I was like, okay, I will do whatever it takes. And I will throw away all my preconceived ideas of who I think I'm supposed to be. And I want to say that to everybody. That was one of the best ahas and best things I did for my life, because what then ended up happening was I'm being shown pictures right now, being shown the visual of somebody throwing their crutches away. Because what then occurred over the next couple of years was in that surrender, my higher self and my guides I was able to bring through and reveal through me who I have now become and am still expanding upon. And when we have those preconceived notions and we don't go to a place of surrender of, okay, whatever's in my highest good, I'll bring it through, we get stuck. That's a whole nother, thing outside of the infiltration, right? So, well,
there's so much going on. I mean, if you don't mind my interrupting for a second here, because I want to segue into the fact that you and I also had a discussion, and I was again generously gifted by you of a private session. And again, there's so much going on. I think it takes somebody like you who has the deep understanding and the life experience to help us to clear the decks and get rid of these things. Now, I will tell the audience right now, and I told you, PK, earlier, I think the work that you did with me in the hour was extremely powerful. I could feel things moving out of the way that had been in the way, and I was trying to struggle against them, not getting very far. So I really felt an energetic motion that made a difference. And then a couple of things that you and I had discussed just cleared up. So, and the other thing I want to tell everybody that I thought was really cool is, PK, you know, we've worked with an entity called the Commander, who's an ET. We love him.
Yeah.
And he had given, when Colleen Olsen and Becky Andreasen were alive, the Commander had given us a really clear message about health and all this other stuff, which it just bore out to be total truth. At the time, I couldn't understand why he was saying these things, but it was exactly the truth. And Deb, you picked up on him, which is unusual. Usually most people don't pick up on him, but you did. You saw him, and you said, who is this ET? And I said, it's the Commander. That's who it is. So you were able to talk with him, which was a lot of fun and also enlightening. So it was a really, really profound session because it moved the energy. It wasn't about just having an understanding here. It was about really energy and clearing things. And so that's a difference that I want to impart here to our audience about the work that you do, because there's a lot of people we have on the show that give us a greater understanding. But what you're able to do is a whole other experience. It's a whole other level of making things be better, making things be easier, and just having these blocks gone. I mean, I could feel them just go away. So great, and I can't thank you enough, and I hope our audience will just their own experience. It was tremendous.
Thank you very much. And really, that is a really big point in regards to the experiential aspect of things, because we have so much information available to us now. I mean, 10 years ago, when I started going down rabbit holes of the nefarious energies, there was some stuff, but now when you go down those rabbit holes and you're looking for stuff on the internet, there is so much available, right? Now you can get overwhelmed with the information. So you've got to balance it. You don't have to do anything, but you've got to balance the information with the alchemy of the transformation. And that is where Scott and I come in. And that is where what I have been taught over the years with the activation, my voice, our field, our energy field, literally can shift the crap that's in people's lives if they're willing to do the work. Now, Patricia, you have been doing the work. Since you got the 101 and you got the 102, you're doing the work.
Right. I love listening to them both. I really enjoy it. I listen to them morning and night. And it's powerful. And again, when I feel something's happening, it's easy to stick with it. You know, it's easy to continue because you see the results.
Yes. And that is the key. We are absolutely result-oriented. And I said to my guys years ago, look, I will talk about this stuff. Okay, fine. I'll do this show. I will talk about this stuff. But I said, I want evidence and confirmation in this dimension. Otherwise, it is woo-woo bullshit. And I'm not putting myself in that category.
Good.
So when I started, and that's how we all need to be. That is what you're hearing from me that's not ego. That is, I am an empowered, activated, I am presence being. And I am in partnership with these guides. I've not given my power over to them. And I still am engaging my free will. That's why the Commander showed up. He presented himself when I was starting the clearing in your session, which is very unusual. And then when you brought him up, I was like, okay, come forward. Let's talk. Right?
Yeah.
And he knew the protocol, and he knew he had to be introduced. So, and then, by the way, I refer to him as Commander Michael.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that came through in the session. So he actually is present also right now, because before we started the show, he presented himself. So
hey, that's great.
Yeah,
he's very powerful, and we love having him here with us. That's nice.
Yeah. So when I agreed to this, I started doing sessions, and it was through the communication that I was able to tap into for people that they couldn't get themselves. And so it's through the years and hundreds of sessions with people of communicating with their higher self that I get crazy awesome information that can support people, like, okay, what's in their highest mind good right now to know about. And then I'm told, okay, there's this and there's this, and this person is, is not actually being honest with them, that kind of thing. It's that kind of evidence and confirmation that we all need to be able to be identifying for ourselves. But when you're in this survival, which that's the other thing with the 9/11, it used not only the ceremony of that event, but then the perpetrators used that event to move us into a fear and control-oriented timeline. When you are in fear and survival and control, you cannot create.
Aha. So there it is. Well, that makes a lot of sense, actually. It's unfortunate that we all got to this place this way without our real permission. I mean, we got moved over into this, is what it sounds like.
We did, and we went hook, line, and sinker as, what's the word I'm looking for? Because we were... See, this is where you don't want to be a victim,
right?
But to get the information so that you can be empowered. We were used.
Well, it does feel like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
And
so
here's something.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, that's again,
you're not coming through, Patricia.
I'm so big on getting past all of this. Can you hear me now, everybody?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. We really need to get past all this, because it's been a very frustrating time shift. And it has been horrible for a lot of people who are to spend their lifetime doing this. Yes, it's excruciating. That's a great word for it. So that's where, again, I want to send everybody to your website, transcendthematrix.com, and go ahead and get tool number 1, Clearing 101. Start there and give yourself some relief, because it's about getting relief at this point. Because a lot of people that we talk to, PK and I both, they're spiraling down. They're having a harder and harder time because they don't see the things that they need to change for themselves. And they realize, wait a second, I'm in charge here. I'm supposed to be able to do this, but it's not happening. So here's a tool, everybody. Transcendthematrix.com. I really, really want you to go visit this website and check it out. There's a lot of good information there, too, from Deb. But the Clearing 101 and 102 that I've done so far is very impressive.
And
well, you've been thrilled with it ever since you first told me about it, so I know it's got to be good.
Yes, and I've been urging you to listen, because I know you're going to love it, too. It's just
I know I will.
So
unfortunately, I've been tied down, but this next week breaks free. Yay.
Yay, and you'll be untied. And then this is going to make you more untied, because this is what it's all about with Deb's work. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Thank you so much. I mean, just to hear you, just to share all that, because it has been years and years of being willing to go out front, retreat, work on this, now go back out. Now, the thing that I also want to say in regards to, and PK, I'm not saying this to you, I'm going to just say this to everybody. Another way of infiltration is and I haven't even talked the details, so I'm going to say one way of infiltration is that people around us are used to create distractions. And there can be a lot of drama and trauma around you. And what I have had to learn to do, especially family and people that don't want to engage with their own journey, is to not engage with them the same way I was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a conscious choice. And when you are able to be the conscious, objective observer of your experience, and you see the people around you and their drama and trauma, you can have compassion for them, but you don't have to be in their drama and trauma. It's where you pull the bootstraps up and you consciously choose. And I've had the conversation with, a few friends, like, I love you and I can't go where you're going right now. Mm-hmm. I really need to stay focused on what is in my highest good. And
that's a nice way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sounds like you've been with me for the last 2 weeks. Honest to God.
Possibly.
I told you he was really tuned in.
Big time. Ooh.
See, and the thing is, we're not groomed that way. Most people run a pattern of guilt, thinking, well, if I'm not there to support that person, then I must be a bad person. A lot of our programs are BS. And when we really, because here's what happens. Then that person who I just said, I love you and I can't do the drama that you're in. And I'm here to support you, and you decide to come out on the other side. Mm-hmm. They go, oh my gosh, okay. And then you've just raised the bar. You've set a vibrational tone of where they have a free will choice to move into. Because you're not going to go into their story anymore. Right?
I pray not, for sure.
It takes a lot of willpower, though, on your part, because we're hooked. People are hooked into other people's dramas and traumas. So it's a lot of self-work and a lot of internal stuff that at this point, if you're willing to do it, you can make huge shifts. But you have to be willing to say, I'm going to step away.
Mm-hmm.
That's great advice for everybody who's facing that.
Good advice.
Yeah.
And recognize the distractions when they show up. And you go, recognize it for what it is. You don't get my power. You are a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you want to get out of that video game, and I think it's a good one. It's a good way to train your focus, no matter what the distraction is. It could be family, it could be trauma, it could be drama. It could be that you have something you need to get done, and that's creative and fulfilling, and suddenly you decide that you have to clean the house. It's like, wait a second. What is your focus going to be, no matter what? So it's really, that's terrific. I love the way you just stated that, Deb. But what we're going to do right now is going to talk a little bit, because we only have another 20 or so minutes left of this fabulous conversation. And you offered to do an activation transcendence for our entire audience.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you feeling up to that? Is that something you can do? Oh, my God. What a gift. Okay. All
fabulous.
Right. So, take us there.
Okay,
we
so
are all yours.
Guidance, so here's the thing. I think, I just got the guidance to focus on heart chakra. And here's what I would like to preface all this with. Because what I think we should do is do the activation really close to the end of when you're going to have me on the air. And then people can be in the integration of the energy, right?
That sounds perfect.
Is that good? Okay. So how much more time
Just tell
do you
me
have
how
me
much time,
on the
how
air?
much time do you, we have about 25 minutes. And how much time do you need to do the activation for the audience?
I'm going to not make it very long because it's powerful and I don't want to have people like blown out of the water. So I also want to set it up. I want to just talk about what these activations are and the alchemy. Is that cool?
Okay. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. Do you want to talk about the alchemy of it now, and then I'll let you know when, what was the last 5-6 minutes of the show? Is that what you're thinking?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Let's do 7 minutes. I'm just being told 7 minutes. So
Okay. We'll do 7 minutes for sure.
All right. So with this activation energy, and it was a very unique experience. I won't get into it right now about how this energy started coming through me, but it was very kind of surprising. And what I have been able to do and engage with, and I consider it's basically one of the ways I get to be an asset for humanity's evolution, right? I'm being utilized as a tool, as a vehicle. And so what happens is it is light language, and it is also high vibration codes that are going to come through, and my mouth moves really fast, and it sounds really weird. And I used to not allow myself to like be videotaped doing it because, I wouldn't also. I don't normally ever do private sessions other than on the phone because I don't want people to become distracted by looking at my mouth moving really fast. The important thing is for you to be in your own experience with it, right?
Yes.
And so even with the private sessions, I say to people, no note taking. You're laying on your bed or your couch or somewhere that you're comfortable, and you're basically you create your own sacred space, and then you can be in that vibration of the activation. And what's important, and why I say to people no note taking, and why we record it, is because when you're in your head, you are not in the same experience of when you are in your heart and when you're present in your physical body. And the thing, and I know what we're going to do with the activation. What has happened over the years is there's been so many disheartening experiences. There's been so much heartache that people are not living in their bodies. And there's been so much heartache and disheartening challenges of making ends meet. And
very much
I'm
so.
Just going to give one, right?
Yeah.
So and here's one just a little tiny example, is if you, let's say you are barely making ends meet or not, right, month to month, you're in constant motion of like, how am I going to get that paid in 3 weeks? How am I going to get this paid next week? What that does is it takes you out of being present in your physical vessel because you're pushing your energy to the future instead of being present. So what we're going to do in this activation is support you to calibrate back to your heart of I am love. That's the first of the codes that I've been working with for the last several years of I am love, I am light, I am gratitude. So we'll recalibrate, and I ask you, so you have the opportunity. If you do not want to experience this, then just turn the show off and walk away, right? You have exercised your free will, right? This is another thing that we must engage with, is a relationship with integrity, a relationship with free will, and a relationship with our I am presence. There's more, but these are like at the top of the list. Now, the other thing I also want to say is that we got the guidance to start a red pill remedy tool series.
How adorable. I love that.
Right. And we have the first one. I've done the first one, and it's to recalibrate you back to a place of calm. If you are freaking out and you're learning more and more about the stuff that's been going on the planet, the nefarious stuff, maybe even this conversation, Red Pill Remedy Calm is very powerful to keep bringing you back to a place of calm. Because when you're in freak out mode, you cannot create. So you want to be able to be calm.
So that calmness, it's kind of like a 0 point energy is the way I look at it. It's like you're just present, period, and that's it. So your new series is able to help people create that, which is wonderful, because it is easy to get off base. People start their stuff, and it's easy to look over there at what the latest temper tantrum is or whatever, and then you lose yourself in it, thinking, how am I going to get this person calm? When that person doesn't need that necessarily, you do. So this red pill thing sounds excellent.
And the reason that we got the whole thing with the red pill, I don't know if you, Patricia, I don't think we talked about this, but we have been following the Q information that's been out there since the end of October, since pretty much day one, which is quite interesting because we don't have time for jack, but we are following that information, and this is, everything's coming to a head, finally. And the matrix and even the conjured energies, my guys are saying, are going to start to be visible, and people are going to need to start dealing with the stuff, the poop that's been going on. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to swear, but I do. So I would normally say the shit, right?
Yeah.
The shit that's been going on behind the scenes. We've got to start dealing with the shadows. And this is what I have on the website also, that we're about to experience a shadow shitstorm. Because all the stuff that even in the macrocosm we haven't been wanting to deal with, it's coming. It's coming up. And so it's going to be related in your own microcosm of your life also. Your shadow stuff is going to start coming up. And I co-produced a film with Debbie Ford, who is now crossed over. Bless her. She was a queen of teaching about shadows. And there's a scene in that film where we have a woman in a pool with 5 beach balls, and the beach balls all represent our shadows. All those fears, all those angers, all those things that you don't want people to know about. And you're keeping those beach balls underneath the surface of the water, and it's exhausting. Those beach balls are about to start popping up. Go ahead.
Wow. See, that's a great image. I love what you're describing. Yeah, so they're going to come up, and they're going to start making themselves known. Mm-hmm.
And as a macrocosm conscious group of beings on the planet now, and I refer to the Q stuff because that is waking people up to the validity of the conspiracies that have been going on as a designed assault against humanity's awakening. And that our vibrational base is finally going to increase. So those beach balls of your shadows pop, 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 pop. So please have the tools of how to deal with it. Otherwise, you're going to get blindsided by your own unhealed stuff.
Which will not be fun. It wasn't fun when it happened long ago. It's not going to be fun resurfacing now. So take charge of it and start acknowledging some of these things that need to be cleared from your system, and find a tool that you like. You know, you can definitely go to transcendthematrix.com. There's also EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping. There's a lot of ways to start to release these things. Journaling, I mean, being a part of a group, a support group, and being able to talk honestly about how you feel and the things that have happened in your past that you want to let go of. So I think it's extremely important. A lot of people in our audience, they want to become more psychic. They want to learn how to have more of these intuitive tools. But in order to do that, you got to clear all this other stuff out of the way. Right, Deb?
Absolutely. And you've got to be willing to clear your own filters. And that's why I get to clear communication, because I was willing. And I don't think people need to do what I did. It was just what I did. But you need to be willing to clear the filters so that when you bring... The other thing is, and this is probably the last thing I should talk about, we'll do the activation. I was willing to change the way that I made my choices. I would tune in and ask, is this in my highest good? Is that in my highest good? Is it in my highest good to go to the grocery store in 4 hours or 2 hours? That is a place of living in highest divine alignment that most people don't have a clue about. It changes from just making decisions logically based and personality based. You still can do all that, but when you make and you communicate with your guide, your higher self, like, okay, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to, what is in my highest good? What is in my highest good? They will start communicating. Oh my God, she's listening. She's actually following through with it. Woo-woo!
Yeah, that's right. And then it just develops more momentum from there.
Exactly. All right, shall we move into the activation?
Yes, let's move right
definitely
into it. How exciting. Let's do it.
All right, so what I would suggest, and I also want to say, this whole throat and sinus stuff that I've got going on is infiltration from stuff that I finally have figured out what it is. It'll be gone in a few days. But you see, this is my strong point, is my voice and my ability to be present with what I bring forth. So if I'm going to have an attack, a psychic attack or an infiltration attack, this is my vulnerable, I don't want to say vulnerable, this is where I would be attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Makes sense.
So,
yeah.
Just becoming present. Take a couple of deep breaths. And as you do, just let everything that we've talked about, just for the moment, just let it just settle. And as you breathe in, just let it anchor down even into your feet and then down into Mother Earth. And as you exhale, allow stuff to just exhale. Any of the stuff that's come up from this conversation. If there's emotion, if there's ahas, take another deep breath and connect in with Source, whatever that means for you. And as you exhale again, allow any of the frustration that you might be experiencing in your life, any of the trepidation you might be experiencing, to expel out of your body. Take another couple of deep breaths and just allow yourself to sink into a comfort zone of being held in the highest divine cocoon, and that you are open to a miracle, possibly. Be open to experiencing something cutting edge, something amazing, something miraculous. Mother, Father, God, Goddess, Creator, Creator, Source of all that is. As we come into alignment here in this timeline of co-creation, and that as I am in partnership, and I know Scott is in partnership listening, that we hold a divine unified field for the frequencies and the codes of I am love, and that the recipient is receiving clearing away right now blocks. As I focus on your heart chakra. Clearing away disheartened experiences, energies that are at the top level and layer right now. Asking our guides to come in closer. Gently activating, almost like the motion that I'm being given the guidance to use with my hand is almost like a pumping of your heart. Clearing. There's a magenta, violet, sacred frequencies coming through. And this recipient, this being, has chosen a free will path of engaging in I Am Love as a base code foundation. Gently activating, clearing away all of the disempowering, disheartening, disengaging codes and vibration of the timeline, the downtrodden enslavement matrix timeline, pulling out whatever is in highest good for this being, this recipient, working with their higher self. I'm being told heart matrix is being installed. This is why I'm getting the pumping action. So it's a heart matrix of I Am Love. It's for the new matrix. It's for the new paradigm. Isolating whatever is not serving you in your highest good, and gently transmuting that to be removed out of your field. Claiming, I am no longer choosing through the abrogation of my free will with the downtrodden timeline. I consciously choose a timeline of the new earth, alignment of humanity's betterment, the betterment of humanity timeline. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. Expanding that out in all directions to encompass you in a field of love, a cocoon of love, enveloping you around your head, down around your torso, up your torso, around your arms and your legs, a cocoon of love. I am love, I am love, I am love. Codes like fiber optic light being infused into that cocoon. Okay, this has been a light code activation, is what I'm being told to say, share. It's light, like when you order like a light drink, less sugar, it's light.
And it feels very powerful.
All right, so what I didn't talk about is the integration. So when you are engaging with this, the what I'm looking for, hold on, suggestion. The invitation and suggestion is to engage and allow this to integrate in a quiet space for at least 20 to 30 minutes after engaging. I should have said that at the beginning. So, and again, the more you engage with your head and you go get into a conversation with somebody, it shifts the alchemy. So stay in a quiet space for as long as you can. And Patricia, do you feel the energy?
I definitely do. How about you, PK?
Well, I've got this strange sensation. I can't quite. It's almost like I want to reach out and touch it, but it hasn't quite connected. Does that make sense?
Yeah. When you say you have a strange sensation, where is it?
It's in my arms and from the chest area to the arms to the hands.
Yep. Okay, so what I'd like people to do at this point now is to take your hands and put both hands over your heart chakra, your heart in the middle of your chest, and allow the regenerating, recirculating new vibration in your heart chakra to move through your arms, down through your arms, back to your heart, through your hands. Just allow yourself to be in that space, quietly. All right, ladies, how are we doing for time?
We just have a couple of minutes left, and again, I just want to say this was wonderful. It was a nice introduction to what you do with the energy and how you're able to move it and affect us. I mean, I know both PK and I felt very affected by what you just did. I'm sure we'll hear from our audience members all of their comments. Feel free to write into us and also contact Deb directly on her website, transcendthematrix.com. And Deb, you're also going to be speaking pretty soon at ECETI Ranch, right?
Yes, in Washington. That's over July 4th.
So if people are out in that area and you would like to hear Deb speak directly, go to, again, her website. All of her events are listed there. But the one at ECETI Ranch, I would think, would be very special. We did have James on the show a few weeks back. It was very exciting to talk to him about all of what's going on up there. But certainly
definitely.
we are he was great, So we are responsible for moving ourselves out of this crappy timeline and getting back into our own situation of love, self-love, and being able to take a different path and not get so frustrated. Like you said, Deb, it's been excruciating for a lot of people, and we want that to change. That's why we're so happy you're on the show with us tonight, because we care deeply about our audience, and we want them to have opportunities, find the right one for them. You know, if this isn't right for them, then they'll find another one, and we always encourage people to keep an open mind and do what feels right for them. So, and I know you feel the same way. It's always a choice, and you got to make the best choices for yourself and how to feel better and how to create the life you want.
Absolutely. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much for having me on with you guys.
It was delightful.
It's
lucky us to have you.
We are so blessed to have you here tonight, and we want to have you back, Deb. I know you have a very busy schedule coming up, but we'd love to have you come back, and we know we're going to have a lot of questions from our audience members about tonight's show. And for everybody listening, if you want your friends to be able to listen to the show, it will be archived on our Blog Talk Radio page, and you can have your friends tune in whenever it's convenient for them. But in the meantime, make sure to go to transcendthematrix.com and check out Clearing 101, Clearing 102, and the Red Pill. What's the name of that Red Pill one completely? What's the name of that? Red Pill Remedy, right? Yeah, Red Pill Remedy. Red Pill Remedy. That's great.
There will be more, but that's the first. Yeah,
great.
That's the first. So everybody can check that out. So everybody, again, thanks so much for listening tonight. What a terrific show, Deb. And everybody keep in touch with us. Let us know what you thought about the activation and the show tonight. Just send us a message or an email. We're always available to converse with you about all these great topics that we love and our great guests. Next week, we're having Dawson Church on Mind to Matter. We're going to continue this conversation in another way next week. And until then, everybody, we will see you on the Blue Highway. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with Supernatural.